Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Varinheim. Before we get started, though, quick shout out to our sponsor, D&D Beyond, place where you want to keep track of your players, your worksheets, your money, your gold, your inventory stuff, anything that's connected to your D&D characters. You want to check out D&D Beyond. Now, before we get started, I also do want a quick couple of announcements. Dire Bear is going to be at a few cons coming up, one of which is virtual D&D weekends, April 22nd through the 24th. There's Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, which is April 22nd through the 24th as well. And then RPG Con, May 20th through the 22nd. So come check us out. Now, before we bring everybody in, we do have one thing for you guys, something to show you. So let's get started. Now, before we get started, last session, you guys arrived back to the city of Aston, where a ruse was in play by Montila. She arrested you guys for committing crimes against the city of Kiro, the Kolwick Kingdom. She brought y'all to the Aston jail, or at least one of her lieutenants, where y'all realized that it was a ploy, waiting for the envoys from the Kolwick Kingdom to essentially confront the officials in Aston. Upon the envoy getting there, she quickly was able to get them to admit that there were no Kolvik soldiers in Aston, therefore allowing her to essentially launch an assault on some strategic locations. And that's where she turned to y'all for help to capture a fort on the southern end of Aston, which y'all agreed to. Amrys, her court wizard, agreed to help and tagged along in attacking this fort. It was a rather tough fight. Fira, you got, if I'm not mistaken, into a pretty decent scuffle with one of the main assailants inside. Tad, though, was having to jump around fortress quite a bit, dealing with quite a few of the wizards. And Emerald, you were making sure to eliminate the hello, kitty. Making sure to eliminate the enchantments on the ground that were essentially being used as artillery on the city of Aston. Fida, you were dealing with the eastern side, right side of the fort, dealing with a lot of the combatants in the area. And as y'all finished, the person that had been with y'all for quite a little bit, Teferu, turned on Amrys. Fida, quickly, you reacted, sending Teferu to a crazed mind with some rather colorful imagery as Tefero's locked Soren Ravus arrived with two other individuals. Talks were tense between the two of y'all. Saphira almost meeting a grisly fate, but leaving y'all alive nonetheless. But what he did leave you with is an undead army marching on the city of Aston. Direwolves, giants, undead dragons, and wyverns began arriving on the Aston shores. Now, we're going to skip forward a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, you guys decided that y'all would have instantly bolted from the city of Aston, talking with Amorous to get some last minute information, which Fida, he gave you some much needed books that could possibly help in the situation that y'all are in. Books on necromancy, the Feywild, Shadowfell, books of the sort. You guys relayed the invasion of what y'all had talked with, or at least had an where y'all could find out about Soren Ravus with Montila, who, as you guys ran from the city of Aston towards Isatol to the, if I'm not mistaken, west, Montila stated she would be staying behind to use the remaining military forces to set a defensive perimeter around the city and contain the situation. But that didn't stop Aston from being burned. As y'all traveled to the city of Isatol, tens of miles away, y'all could see off in the distance toward Aston a light red glow in the clouds. Fires raging, city being razed to the ground. Y'all find yourselves, though, a few miles outside of Isatol. Y'all have been riding for, if I'm not mistaken, about 18 hours at this point. Y'all decided to set up camp, rest, collect y'all's thoughts, and kind of, if I'm not mistaken, think about past 24 hours and the events that have taken place. And that's where we're at. Anthil is off on a log, minding his own business, looking through books. What are y'all doing?
You know, he's trying to figure out what that spell was.
Most
100% that's what he's doing, and you know
All
it.
right.
Well, going to go through and set up a quick camp, get a fire going, just a small fire, and kind of sit in a daze for a little bit of just everything that has happened over the last 36 hours because it's been a bit of a rush.
Emerald?
Um, Honestly, probably consulting the map, trying to figure out, like, I know we're heading to the city, but if I'm trying to figure out other places we could possibly reach out to for aid if needed once we get to the city.
Saphira?
Treating wounds. Well, I say treating. There's been initial applications, but checking wounds and such, replacing bandages as needed. Just kind of in a corner on her own with Sophia.
Vita said that you're pondering over the last 36 hours.
Yes, there's a lot that's happened in the last 36 hours. What with arriving in Aston, getting recruited in Aston by Montila, going across, nearly getting killed in our antics over there, starting a war, committing all sorts of crimes against humanity and such. Coming back, getting arrested, having a chat with Tobor while we're in prison. All the stuff after that, getting out of prison, going and having that whole combat in the thing, and then all of the what went down with the necromancer, DeFeyru, everything. It's a lot to take in all at once. And well, repeatedly, there's just in that last part with the necromancer. Just what happened there in the interaction where he wanted to talk is just it starts getting to her, and she starts thinking about it more and more, and starts getting angrier and angrier and angrier, feeling that a lot of it was completely unnecessary. So she gets up and she's going to go over to Stalker, and she's going to crouch down beside Stalker and ask, "Do you have a death wish?"
What do you mean?
What is your problem? That everywhere we go, we end up in your altercation. Why? Why? He was there to talk.
Was he?
Yes, and he'd said as much. How did it get to that? Why does it keep getting to that? Why is it that we go places and we end up in situations having to bail you out, having to stop you from being arrested or killed? What is this? What is going on here?
Bail me out.
Aston,
He
the
attacked
first time.
us.
He did not.
Dude, I don't know if
He
you're
reacted
watching, but
to words that were spoken that were unnecessary. I want to understand something, Stalker. How is it that you can be deathly afraid of a hag, but yet we have a necromancer here who could wipe the floor with that hag, no problem, and you start threatening him? Why? Let alone, my patron is a lord of the hells, and you threaten to snap his neck. Where's your sense of caution? I don't understand this, and I'm tired. I've been able to, amidst all of this, figure out what is going on, figure out what the necromancer's after, and I think we might have a way to be able to stop him. But we can't stop him if he's dead. Did you know that last spell, that one that Tanathil countered? That one is... They use that one back home as a... It is a punishment. It's high-level execution. That's my fate, should I go home. You're so incredibly lucky. That spell I know, because that's my fate, if I go home. The only reason you're alive and standing right now is because Tanathil has to be the luckiest person I have ever seen. Right now, you should be dead. And it's save for Tanathil stepping in, you'd be dead. At the Aston the first time, you didn't get arrested because Emerald stepped in. Why? Why is this happening? Why do we keep going through this? I will not step in again. I stepped in this time because I'm not going to lose the people I care about. I've lost everyone once. I cannot lose everyone again. Not for something like that. Please figure out why you keep acting like a cornered animal in conversations with authority. Because honestly, until you figure that out, we can't do anything to help you. She's gonna get up and she's gonna go walk away and go and sit with some of the books, particularly the necromancy ones, and try and figure out what that square was on the back of the necromancer's neck.
I am just kind of overhearing this from my maps, and I'm gonna kind of side-eye most of the conversation, and then give people some... It looks like people need some space. I'm just going to keep to myself for the evening. Start getting alarms set up around the camp, and kind of keep to myself.
Emerald, you're familiar with some different types of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with anything? I know you have some sort of like healing type magic. Are you familiar with anything darker, like anything with necromancy that you've seen any of what that square was on his neck or anything?
Um, I know a little of dealing with spirits and the other side, but I don't have a lot of knowledge on necromancy. I highly doubt it, but I'm going to see if Emerald knows anything about it.
Roll an Arcana.
That's a whopping natural 6. That's
As
not the
you just
number you thought I was going to say, was it?
right, I thought you were going to be like whopping like 24 or something. I'd be like, dang.
I was expecting a 1, to be honest.
With a +2, it's a 6.
As you're kind of pondering over the question, you just kind of realize nothing is coming to mind. Nothing right offhand.
Yeah, it's not a realm I'm familiar with.
That's the one piece I haven't figured out yet. I've been able to figure out the rest of this. He's after the gates. When Cricket left, she left me all of her books. And I've been able to go through a number of them, and I've been able to figure out quite a bit of what is going on. Um,
That being said, what? Why haven't we spoken about discoveries previous to this? You've had these books for a while.
because for the first few days I had them, I was pouring through them trying to figure out what the gates were. And then I've been slowly picking through trying to understand what is going on, and then we ended up in Kolvik. And it's just
Okay.
been nonstop on the go since then. I've been trying to piece it all together. From what I can tell, these gates are. You can go anywhere with them. They're few and far between, but you can go between the different planes with them.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure what his goal is, but it seems his goal is to get this gate, and he has a massive army that he can then take through, and he can take it anywhere he wants and go and conquer whatever it is he wants. From what I've gathered, there are protectors of these gates. And when I spoke to Tobor a little bit, he did tell me that, and I've been able to confirm this in several places now, that to open these gates is fatal. It takes such a huge amount of energy that it will kill the person who uses them. Now, this has me wondering what that square missing from the back of his neck signifies. So, if I can figure that part out, at least then we understand what his plan is, so we don't know where he's looking to go.
So if he's aware it will kill him, he has to have something planned to deal with it.
And him waiting 4 months for this time? We have a weird piece of skin missing from him, and we have a time frame. I've got several books in necromancy here. Would you care to look through some of them to see if we can find what it is maybe he has done?
I can certainly try.
Well, thank you.
I mean, getting to Isatol, there should be people with much more knowledge than us there. They might be able to point us in the right direction.
They have the library there.
Mm.
We need some rest. Like, we need to rest a little bit at least.
Are you okay? That
In a
was
word, no.
quite a conversation that I don't really want to get in the middle of, to be honest.
Understood. In a word, no. I will be. The alternative's not worth thinking of. We're here, we have a mission. We need to stop this. If we don't, who will?
Well, for what it's worth, I appreciate having your level head around.
Likewise.
Here
And
So
is
we're gonna pour through books here.
I am gonna give Fida guidance.
You give that guidance. What's
You
Sophia
have-
doing there?
she's still sitting where she was, but she stopped messing with wounds. She's not looking at them. She's kind of got this thousand year stare. Yes, 1,000 yard stare.
Wrong campaign.
Looking through time and space. I killed my own thought process.
What is this? Thursdays? Thinking through time.
1,000 yard stare. And is kind of tracing along her tattoos absent-mindedly. One ear is perked towards their conversation, but she's not looking at anyone.
I get investigation rolls from the from Fida and Emerald.
Investigation.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Oh God! Why did
Wait,
you use
I
roll
had-
20?
I had guidance or no?
You have a
Yeah,
D4,
add a
you can add
D4.
to that.
Don't
Ooh,
use roll
so I
20.
could be anywhere from an 8 to like an 11.
Great.
Let's find out exactly what it's going to be. Nope, that's a d20. Nope, this one. And we're good.
Rolls a 1. Watch it.
That is
It's
a
a
9
2.
total.
It's a
Um,
2.
9 total.
I have a natural 20 for 24.
Yes, at least one of us can.
As you guys are pouring through books, a lot of the symbols and spells that deal with necromancy has symbols of death, necrotic, just decay. You're finding spells that deal with abnormal arcane arts that for quite a few kingdoms or in cities just taboo would be an understatement. It's studied, yes, but it's not practiced. The book that you're looking through there, Emerald, goes into detail of quite a few spells. A simulacrum, essentially, that allows an individual to contort a being to do its bidding. Another one that allows you to cheat death by copying oneself. Takes time. As you're reading through the spell, it gives a time window of 90 days. I do believe. I may have just actually messed that up.
It was 120 as per the last session.
Yeah, I mean 120, but it
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, oh, but it is actually
It could
120 for
take
12.
preparation to do that. You never know.
I thought it was 90 for
Preparation's
some
important.
reason, but he waited a little longer. A bit. 120 days. Yet it goes into the fact that when the person transfers, they're slightly weaker than when they first awakened, but it doesn't take long for their strength to come back. But allows them to cheat death. There's another one another spell that allows an individual to essentially upon death, they teleport to another location. They live, but for a moment they do die. But it's not as powerful as that previous spell. Just the other one takes longer. The spell that mentions 120 days, though, is called Clone.
Does it mention anything about a mass of flesh?
Yes. A piece of flesh must be taken from the person that is wanting to create the clone of their person. They also need a container that is able to be sealed to allow maturity of the specimen. The clone can be anywhere, just at least on the same. It just has to be on the same plane. So upon death, the person's soul is then transported to the clone, and then they arise.
Vita? Tanathil? I
Yes.
think I might have found something based off of what you were saying with the bit of flesh missing and 4 months of time. Look here, and I'll turn the book over to Fida.
I'm
I
gonna
think
grab
it
the
might
book
have
and take a look
something
at
to
it.
do with a clone spell, I think it's called.
Clone, 120 days, piece of skin missing. Upon death, consciousness transferred. Oh, that has to be what he's doing. That
If
has to be it.
if this is the way that they're planning on taking, we may have a small window. It says
He's
they'll
using
be
himself to open it.
It says he'll be weaker for a time after the spell initially takes hold when he dies.
It says something here. A sealed container or like a jar where
Mm-hmm.
it's. If we find that and damage that, he can die and he won't come back.
The only
Or if we
problem
find that and
is
he's already gone there, and then we can deal with him there.
the problem we have now is we know where he'll be headed. We have no idea where he could be hiding this container, this vessel.
Considering he has that staff, I don't think he's going to let himself be far away from that staff.
I don't think the staff could be the vessel.
Doubt it.
It says a container.
But the staff is how he's controlling his army. He's not going to be far away from that.
Well, either
At
way,
least if it was me, that's what I would do.
if we need to punch through an army of undead to get to however we want to deal with this, we need people. We need allies.
Absolutely.
We need to bring this information to someone of power, and hopefully, whether it's by favors or not, we need people for this cause. We're only 4 people.
At the very least, we need to get them to stop moving past Aston, or at least contain them to Aston, or push back and get them out of Aston if the portal is there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew what that head had said.
I do.
Well, what else did it say about the portals?
Not a whole lot, to be honest.
Because we don't know where it is.
The head didn't know where it was either. It knew small amounts of information, like where Soren had their main base, which was the city you and Tanithil lit on fire.
Oops.
And,
Collapsed inwards into its own filth, yes. Yes, that one.
yeah, the rather racist town. Aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot of information we could glean. It knew just enough to do his job, but not enough to know what Soren was truly up to.
Well,
And you are welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, DM, but I'm pretty sure that that's a pretty good gist of what we got from the skull.
The skull admitted that he helped take Soren Ravus to the temple. He just didn't say where.
Yep. So
I just didn't
the
want to
skull.
talk for Tanthil there.
No worries. I was flying by the seat of my pants from what I could remember, and I knew that was the
You're
gist
good.
of it, and I figured I'd check in for further details.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He told y'all that he had helped take Soren Ravus to the temple.
Okay.
He needed to get not necessarily a guide, but someone that was pretty good in maneuvering through caves.
And I will relay that to Fida. Aside
Okay.
from, Tanithil does still have the skull. It's in the cart. It probably doesn't smell too great anymore, but if need be, we could possibly
that's what
get
that
more
smell was in
information.
there. So that's what that was, that smell?
Does Arcane Lock keep the smell in?
No, it does not.
I mean, I realized it smelled like something died in there. I just didn't realize it was that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just want to point out we can't use the head for quite a few more days.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So,
But
obviously, they didn't have that information beforehand, and they had to find it somewhere where this temple was.
mhm,
Where did they find that out? How did they find that out?
we do also now know what Soren and those they keep by look like. We've
Say again?
seen. We now know what Soren and the people he keeps close look like.
True.
We've
Very true.
seen Stalker adjust her form before.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, we might be able to glean more information when Tanithil can cast the spell again. If it's not us asking the questions.
Potentially, yes.
Because the spirits are weird. They know who they're seeing when they talk to you. It would take a little bit of deception on our part to play the part, but it might be an avenue we could look into.
I think first and foremost, we need to see what it is they have here in not Aston, in the
Isatol.
city we're going to. Isatol, there we go.
I got you.
Shifty eyes panic there. Um, in Isatol, we need to see what information is in the library there, at the very least. Definitely need to talk to some people, see if there's any possibility of pushing this horde out of Aston.
Hmm.
Even at the very least on that, not leave Montila completely stranded and overrun if possible. Um,
I have faith Montila can take care of herself.
oh, I have no doubt on that one. She is a little brash though, so I just hope she hasn't bitten off more than she can chew on this one.
For starters, we should get some sleep.
Agreed.
It's been a rough 24 hours. I'm ready for a nap.
You go get some rest. I'm gonna keep looking at these books for a little while longer.
Who's taking first watch?
Not me. I'm going to bed.
Stalker, get some rest. I'll take first watch. You alright with that? Okay. Which one of you wants to take next watch?
Tanthil just gonna goes. I'll take the last two.
Okay.
I'll take the next one.
Alright, I'll get you up for it.
I need to roll perceptions from Fida and Stalker for their watches.
An unnatural 20.
You did great with perception. What happened to the investigation?
Stress.
We'll blame roll 20.
Like, we had a spectacular investigation. Thank you. And clearly, I was still dealing with a few other things, and I just. That's what happened.
He's like, let me have this. Saphira, what do we got?
18 for Sylphir, 21 for Saphira.
Nice.
All right. Your watch there, Fida, goes by relatively smooth. No disturbances. The light off in the distance that's over in the direction of Basin still it grows brighter, but it doesn't look like it comes in y'all's direction. As a couple of hours pass, Stalker's time for her watch comes. Hey, you just wake up Stalker?
I'm
Just
going to
kinda
go and wake up Stalker gently, and it's your watch now.
right.
And I apologize for my outburst.
Talk more about it later. Get some rest.
The watch goes by rather smoothly there, Stalker. Off in the distance, you can hear the movement of animals. Hoot of an owl, the rustling of the wind through the trees. The light off in the distance glows bright, but it doesn't make y'all's way towards y'all. After a couple of hours, Tanithil wakes from his meditation and just comes to you and says, "You're good to go. I can do the next two. Get some sleep." Tanithil keeps watch for the remainder of the evening. And as the dawn comes, smoke just boiling from Aston. You can see it tens of miles away. Y'all are, if I'm not mistaken, just clarification. Y'all are over 100 miles away, and you're able to see the smoke. It is that large. As y'all get up, Danthil just kind of does a stretch, gets in the cart, and he's like, "Are we ready to go?"
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's go. And pack up everything that we had out and make sure our little fire's out. And snack and ration on the way as we continue on.
Y'all make y'all's way to the city of Isatol. As y'all do, the city is large. It's got a large gate, stone wall that surrounds it. You can see off. Switch to the map here. You can see a rather large citadel with its own wall around it. The roads are filled, even in the early morning hours, of people coming into the city. Some are leaving towards the direction of, say, Landcrest, Aerith, or to the farther south of east to either Dawnvault or south to this town of Eastbourne. As you guys begin making y'all's way through the city, you see a bunch of storefronts. People are beginning to open their shops. You can tell that people are kind of like cleaning, getting ready things. People are already like starting to like come in and kind of conduct business with one another. There are guards spread throughout the entire city, more so than other cities like Easton or even Creighton or Domvault. Like it's looks like almost every corner there is a few guards, three or four to be exact. As you guys maneuver y'all's way through, you're able to kind of hear of conversations from people. No one's talking about yet of what's going on in Aston yet. but you do hear conversations of unrest in the city of Landcrest to the farther west. You hear individuals talking of at least the raids, though, of Isatol, but nothing of the invasion that has just started. But as y'all are making y'all's way through, y'all quick. Like you see that they're wearing more formal armor than usual. And as they're kind of just sitting there discussing, you hear one of them talk about the library known as the Great Athenum in the city, and the mentioning of Kusula Farah.
Hey, Trail,
Yo,
real quick. It looks like Given couldn't hear anything for a second there. I don't know what happened. What was the last thing you heard before it cut out, and when did it come back?
she was saying it's her USB that was messed up.
For like 5 minutes, so a bit of the description on the city. Not sure what happened with the audio, if it was on our end or not. We seem to have landed ourselves in the Baron's Manor district of the city.
It was her, she says.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, you're hearing a couple of guards talking about the library in the city in Kusula Farah. You also hear them talking about the Citadel. And also, if I'm not mistaken, a mention of the academy that's in the city as well. Arceus Academy of the Arcane. It's quite a bit that they're talking about. It's rather rapid conversation between the two. Essentially, they're talking about positions of guardsmen and where they'll most likely be later in the evening. But
So
anyone
just
that's
to
not
confirm, because
talking,
you were a little choppy there on my connection. I'm having a little bit of internet
oh,
issues, so I'm doing the best I can.
I apologize.
These are guards.
Yes,
I heard what they were
guardsmen.
talking about. I didn't hear what they were.
They're talking about the library.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over there like a person who is brand new to the city because I am, and I'm gonna be carrying a book and be like, "Excuse me, sirs. I'm
Oh, yes, citizen.
I'm looking for the library here. Is there any chance you could point me to where it is?"
If I'm not mistaken, the library is located in the Sexual Awareness District. I can actually take you there if you wish.
That would be wonderful. Like my friends and I we just arrived in the city, and we were wanting to go and research a few things.
Oh, where y'all coming from? If y'all don't mind me asking, he just kind of gestures in the direction of where he's going to be headed.
Well, we've been
Just walk.
traveling. We've been traveling like a fair ways. Our last stop was actually in Aston.
Oh, I hear that place is actually being rated quite heavily.
That I would definitely agree with that. It has
Why
definitely
would
seen
y'all?
better days.
Yes, we've actually been seeing quite a bit of smoke coming from that direction. It looks like the raids are getting a lot worse. Why would y'all even stop there to begin with?
Because that traveling after 18 hours gets a little tiring, and we need a break.
Yes, guess so. And y'all are wanting to research stuff in the library.
Absolutely.
Well, I promise you, there is no library better in all of Ashland and the Great Athena. I
And to
promise
be
you that.
fair, we didn't really know Aston was getting raided when we stopped there to rest.
I I can understand that. When it comes to kingdom business, I guess people like. I guess they like to keep things close. Don't like to mention things to outsiders. Understandable, but yes,
Figured it was
if y'all
safer in the walls than outside of them with raids and such.
right. Now I'll be completely honest. When it comes to the city of Isatol, you won't find any guardsmen better that are able to keep the peace within the city. Not even Landcrest. That king over there that can't seem to run things. We here have no issues.
I'm glad to hear that.
As you guys are walking, this guy's dressed like I was mentioning, formal attire. Is carrying a sword on his left hip. On his right is just a dagger. His cape that guy just kind of like flows down. It doesn't shimmer per se, but as it kind of billows out and kind of up against, like, say, a crate or something, you notice it kind of changes slight color for a brief moment before coming back. As you guys keep walking, he just goes, "Now, y'all are just here for research, or is there anything else in particular? I mean, if y'all are looking for a place to stay, uh,
A place
Seven
to
Knots
stay would be
District,
wonderful as well.
Seven
Seven
Knots,
knots?
Seven Knots District, and the Merchant Lane District both hold inns that y'all may be able to find and stay at.
Excellent. And are there any shops with like magical implements and spells and the like?
Oh, you're talking in magic shops like Time for Tomes and the Bramble Staff. Uh, those are some of our best shops in the city, and I recommend personally for me uh, the Bramble Staff. Naya Lumen is amazing. She can easily get y'all whatever y'all need. She's quite knowledgeable. When it comes to if you're looking for like any sort of relics or anything, Trelana's Spark Fate is actually pretty nice herself. But I will admit, I favor the Bramble Staff. She
For
reminds
my
me quite a
own
bit of her and points towards Saphira.
for my own clarification, that's the Ramble staff or Bramble with a B.
Bramble with a B.
Okay.
Bramble.
And Nia was the owner for the Bramble staff, and what was the name for the other one?
The other one was Time for Tomes.
Hmm.
Time for Tomes. Tomes.
Cool, cool. Thank you.
But yeah, she reminds me quite a bit of her. Though she's more talkative. No offense. Same height and everything. Well, minus she's more less muscular, which by the way, just kind of looks at Severa. Were you a warrior of by chance where you come from? Oh, nice. You can always kind of tell. Just kind of as he's walking, like kind of puffs out his chest a little bit. He's just like you always tell just by a person's physique. What can you say? He's I sense as y'all are walking, he's like, I sense because if I'm not mistaken, you are wanting to go to a library and your friend here, and he just kind of gestures towards Tanithel with his hat. He's just like, y'all must be knowledge seekers, which means y'all must have some understanding of the arcane arts. Out of my expertise, I'll be completely honest. I'm just a guard. Good at martial weapons, but that's about it. Envy the ones that can actually understand the arcane. I'll be completely honest. It's a mystery. Now I will admit, and he just kind of like turns to Emerald. He's just like, you have me lost there, good sir. Good sir, if you don't mind me asking. Were you a warrior? Were you a person just interested in the arcane? I'm
Who,
struggling here.
myself?
I
Who,
know he's
myself
talking
or
to Emerald.
who?
Emerald.
Okay. Sorry, you were very staticky there.
Ah!
My connection. It's my issue
Oh,
here.
I thought it was mine because
No.
Emerald didn't say
Clear on
anything.
my end.
Oh, it's my end as well? It's my end?
No. You were clear on my end.
Oh, okay.
Everything's loud and clear here.
Okay. But yeah, he's
You
just
you,
talking to Emerald. He's like,
you started to ask me a question, and then you like panned off for a couple seconds, and then came back with the question. I wasn't sure if you were done talking, so I hadn't answered yet.
oh, okay. He's just like, yeah, in all honesty, yeah, me struggling, good sir. I, are you a person of the arcane or are you a warrior yourself?
I'm a musician.
You know what?
He
Nothing wrong with
plays
that.
beautifully too. You should hear him.
What do you play, good sir?
Well, but most things I've messed with here and there. These days it's a bit of the horn or the lyre. And
Oh,
gesture to the lyre that's like on my side.
well, if you don't mind me asking, would you be interested in coming uh, to the guards outpost sometime and playing? I know a couple of musicians there myself. They'd love to have you.
Not not gonna say no to a gig, but we do have some important business we need to attend to
That's
here in town first.
that's understandable. I'm just if you ever have any spare time. Which, as it's saying this, you guys are actually arriving at the library. The library is massive, multiple stories, stone. There is rotundas on either side of this. So essentially, there's a rotunda on the left, rotunda on the right, and then there's what you can tell, like kind of like a hallway structure that comes to the main area of the library. I would say easily 3 stories tall. There's pillars in the front. As y'all get closer, y'all see that on these pillars there's intricate carvings that look to dictate the history of not only of Ashland but of Isatol. Ashland is on the left, and the history of most likely Isatol is on the right. And these intricate carvings go from the base of the ground all the way to the top. And these pillars, they only go to about where there's a balcony on the second floor that kind of juts out. You can see that people are actually kind of like sitting and actually reading. And this, the balcony, the pillars are, I would say, 12 feet up. So these pillars are about 12 feet tall. As you guys are walking up to this library, there's stairway kind of like leading up, not many, probably about 10 steps altogether. People are coming and going, others with like large stacks of scrolls and parchments of paper and ink. Just kind of see people like kind of like shoveling, kind of like dropping stuff, they're picking it up. trying to get in. You see the lieutenant just kind of goes, but like I said, if you'll ever have time, I'd love to hear you play. But that being said,
Sure.
welcome to the.
While I have you here, kind of look at my party. Is there somewhere we could go for a bit of a cleanup? Uh, it's been a long bit of time on the road. I could use a good bath and
You need to go to the Riverside Inn then. The Riverside Inn has the best baths. Their water is always warm. Just letting you know right now. I totally would recommend it. I go there myself occasionally when I'm needing a really nice bath and not just a regular wash. But if y'all need anyone, I recommend trying to speak with a Kosula Farah inside. Uh, she's elvish, just letting you know. Blonde hair, blue-eyed. Her hair comes down to about her waist. Can't miss her.
well, I do appreciate the recommendation. What was your name? I feel horribly rude now.
I bet. My
We've
name
been
is Ryan.
chatting for the last 10 minutes, and I didn't even think to ask.
So, my name is Ryan, Lieutenant Ryan Cawthorn. And I will send that to you.
Thank you. Go NPC name.
Right?
Slips you a business card.
Oh
But
God.
if you need anything, just let me know. If you need anything, just let me know. All right? I have got no issues.
Absolutely.
You just. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I do have two off-topic questions while I have your ear. One, where
Yes.
could I find this barracks you brought up?
Northeast side of the Barons Manor district. That's where we're always at. I'm usually there just as the sun sets.
Barracks on the northeast side. And I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a traveler here through these lands. Who runs this fine city?
Duke Isaac Renato. If you're wanting to have a meeting with him, though, you got to go through Norman Bryson.
Norman Bryson?
Bryson. Yep. Bryson.
Hey, I guessed it right. Cool.
Hey, awesome.
And where would I find Norman?
Just mention you got gold coin you're willing to spend, and you'll find him. Otherwise, he's also in the Barons Manor district, southwest side.
Okay.
Otherwise, Duke Isaac Renato, he will be completely willing to help you with whatever matters you need to speak with him with, if you're needing to speak with him. And I'm letting you know right now, Miss Farr inside, she can handle everything that you need in the library. I promise.
Sounds good to me. Well, I appreciate your time and your bit of a tour.
I enjoy the company. In all honesty, being on guard sometimes is boring. All you're doing is just getting onto people and you're just dealing with, let's say, headaches most of the time. That being said, he just kind of gives y'all a salute. I must be off.
Thank you once more for your help.
Just kind of turns and heads off.
As he walks away, I'm going to throw a guidance at him for giggles. I can do it from 60 feet away, so he won't even hear me do it. Little
How long
spring
does
in
that
his step.
guidance last?
A minute.
Okay.
He's just gonna feel good about what he's doing for a minute. That's all.
Okay. But as I mentioned, this library is huge. White marble pillars in the front, dictating the history of not only Ashland but of Isatol. People are coming and going. The rotundas on either side have windows. You can kind of actually see in from where you guys are at, and you can just see rows and shelves of books just from the outside. Now, granted, you can't see what you can't see what the individual books are, but you can just see rows of them just from the outside. You can see people going back and forth, talking, discussing. You hear people, the different conversation topics that y'all are hearing range from the Feywild to the Astral Sea. You're hearing people talk about spells of intense nature. You mention, or you hear people discuss creatures of the not so usual. You wouldn't see usually on the material plane. You hear an individual talk about political unrest and the signs to spot it. You also see or hear individuals talking about change, the status quo. But you also do hear people starting to recognize or commenting on the smoke billowing in the direction of Aston. Can you hear them talking about that as well? Take y'all head in them.
Sounds like the plan.
Yep.
As y'all go in to the library, the flooring is stone, but it's colored of purples, blues, pinks. It's rather mesmerizing. As y'all go in, y'all automatically see urns filled with scrolls of just information up against bookshelves that just line the library. You see individual people at desks with parchment spread out, just writing stuff down. I see Tanithil next to y'all, practically salivating at the mouth. I can at least do that.
I'm just getting out of the way of the two bookworms as they
Anathel,
flood
we have
into
to
it.
actually look into what we're here for, not just everything.
But we could look into everything.
Yes, but not all of us have your lifespan to do so. So can we stay focused at least for a few days?
As y'all enter and just kind of stand about for about a few moments, I'm pretty sure. A gentleman walks up wearing a gown. It's blue and silver. He's got a necklace that kind of comes down with an amulet. Amulet, as y'all kind of look at as he's coming up, looks to have the symbol for just arcane magic in general. The individual has gray hair that kind of just slicked back with a bald spot just right on the top. Hair just kind of comes down. It's about midway down his back. The robes that he has, he's able to interlock his arms and just kind of come up to you. And it's just like, excuse me, what are y'all needing any assistance?
Yes, I do believe my friends here need some help researching some interesting topics. Maybe you can help point us in the right direction.
I can point you in any direction that y'all are need to go. What exactly are y'all looking for? Is the question.
Uh, Fida, you've been the one doing most of the research. What would be a good point for us to start looking in?
Um, there's a few different areas. Um, the first one that I've been looking into, it has to do with temples in the Shadowfell, or like temples with gates.
Y'all are wanting to look into other planes of existence, technically. Y'all need to be going to the east rotunda, which I can take y'all there if y'all need.
Oh, I'd appreciate it greatly.
Good. If y'all, and by the way, just so y'all know, my name is Cobb Morwa.
So we're gonna follow him over to where he is directing us to.
He just kind of keeps his arms interlocked, begins moving. I notice that like he's like instead of just like kind of like walking normally, it's almost like a shuffle to a certain extent. His head is just kind of up as he's making his way. He's like, if y'all don't mind me asking, how often do y'all do research yourselves?
As I pride myself on my ability to research, I've been looking into various topics, mostly temples, since I was a child.
Well,
I come from a family of archaeologists, and I'm looking to do more research into that specific field once I finish this tangent.
well, we love having researchers come to the library. It's been a rather, how should I say, interesting last few years when it comes to development of the information that we can offer individuals such as yourselves. And he just kind of leads y'all's way through the library to the East Rotunda, which, as you guys begin passing through there, there's an archway. At the top of this archway going in, you'll see like letterings dictating what's inside, and it just mentions essentially this area is designated other planes of existence, information on that such. And as you'll kind of go in, the shelvings and everything is labeled and identified to make it where things are easily found. Takes y'all right to the section for Shadowfell. And he's like, if this is what y'all need when it comes to the Shadowfell, we've got quite a bit of extensive works. And you just, there's probably 200 books just on this bookshelf, just from one end to the next. This bookshelf's easily 30 feet long, and I'd probably say 6 feet tall.
Well, it looks like you guys are going to be busy for a bit. Cobb,
Yes.
would you be able to point me in the direction of the Riverside Inn? I could at least go acquire some rooms for us while my friends are researching. And
Yes,
I'm
I
not
can do
not
just
not a big book person myself. It's far too quiet.
that's perfectly fine. I can actually, before you leave, I can give you a map of the city.
I
And
would
just
love a map.
right, and he just kind of leads you away, gets you a map, and like as soon as he like kind of lays that, he's like just kind of begins circling areas on this particular map for you to have. He's like, this is where you're gonna want to go.
Sure. DM,
Yes.
can you do me a favor and roll a d20? We have received a party boon.
Oh, yeah. I rolled a 7.
A 7.
Sweet, sweet.
What does a 7 do?
Can you
I'm
roll his
confused.
d6?
That should be gone.
Oh wait, no, gain advantage on next skill check. I'm reading blind. No,
Oh,
I read
okay.
the wrong one.
But yeah, he points you easily in the direction of where you got to go there, Emerald.
Okay.
But I take it, Tanthil, Fida, you guys are gonna chill here in the library.
Oh, we're gonna be in the library, but it's as soon as Emerald has gone, I'm gonna ask him. It's like if he has anything more specifically on the on gates that link the planes. I've heard that there are gates.
Let me go. Let me go grab Miss Farah, and I'll see if she can help. She has a better
Certainly.
understanding of what all we offer. And
Oh,
he kind of,
fantastic! I would appreciate that.
what is Saphira doing?
Did we see the section for the Feywild?
Yeah, yeah. The rotunda that you guys are in, like, there's easily like 30 bookshelves just in this particular room. And you're easily able to like find an F section that just dictates the Feywild, but it's just as extensive as the Shadowfell.
She branched off then without a word and is looking through to see if she can find anything about maps of the Feywild or any information relating to any forests in the Feywild.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, did you leave Silver outside, or is Silver in here with you?
He would have come in unless someone bitched about it, in which case he'll be in the cart.
I mean, you could
She
always
just
wear him on
doesn't
your
feel like
shoulders.
she just doesn't feel like dealing with people.
Silver is wandering inside, or with you in that particular section. Cobb goes and gets Miss Farah, which he's not gone very long, 5 minutes at most. A elvish woman with blue eyes and blonde hair that goes down almost to her waist. She's wearing delicate robes, blue, silver as well, but you can see on her hands multiple rings, necklaces, multiple ones, gold, silver, some with pendants, some with amulets. As she's coming up, hands are behind her back. She talks with a very gentle voice. She's like, "Hi, y'all are looking for gateways, if I'm not mistaken."
Amongst other things, you must be Ksula,
Uh,
I believe the name was we were given.
just call me Miss Farah. That's
Miss
perfectly
Farah?
fine. Yes, Kasula almost
As you wish.
sounds almost devilish to a certain extent. Nothing wrong with that per se, but it's some as it can be. But I can help you. If y'all are looking for gateways, and she just kind of goes about 3/4 of the way down this shelf, goes about midway. She grabs a book. She puts it on the table, and the title itself is Orders of a Forgotten Age, and she's like, the title is misleading. She begins opening, and you can kind of, as she's flipping through the pages really quick, you see it talk about past orders that not only deal with the for the Shadowfell, but also the Feywild. I need a perception roll.
Ooh, I have advantage on this one. We said perception.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad I have perception on that. I hope. Okay, yeah, 15's a lot better than the other one, than the 9 I had rolled initially.
You, as she's flipping through the pages, you see a page briefly mentioned Hunters of, but you didn't catch the last part.
What was that?
What was what? She's just kind of fimming through the.
One of the pages you just went past, it had Hunters of.
Oh, and she just kind of grabs like about 20 pages, flips back. She's just like, Hunters of Eternity.
What is that?
Ancient group from the Feywild, essentially created by Svala herself. They were guardians. Basically, they helped keep, how should I say, dangerous creatures, both from Shadowfell, Feywild, and material from causing havoc. They actually are somewhat akin to another order, though granted, I do say this, these orders are usually more belongs in more myth and legend. I do want to say that. Now the gates, on the other hand, and she kind of begins
What's the
flipping the
other
pages.
order?
I was actually gonna show you this, and she kind of
Oh,
flips to a particular page. She's just like the Order of Bastille. They're kind of the Shadow Fell kin to a certain extent, though legend has it their order was much more sufficient, better organized. Hunters of Eternity, legend wise, were more loners than anything. They'd help one another, yes, but not like the Order of Bastille. Now,
so one
each of
was
these
more of a
orders,
civilization as compared to
yes,
individuals almost in an exile.
one was more nomadic, is what I would say.
Okay.
Always moving. Now, that being said, and she flips one more page, they both used this gate system that we are referring to, that you're inquiring about. This gate system, the Order of Bastille, how should I say, learn to use it with proficiency. They could access to other planes that others couldn't using this.
Like they could
As
open the gates and close them and
they could keep them open indefinitely. They had the ability to do so. They learned how. Others that would try would die, from what we know of. They, on the other
that's what
hand,
I've
could
heard.
go.
Huh.
That being said, as y'all are talking, roll perception there, investigation. Saphira,
Okie dokie. 15.
okay, so if I'm not mistaken, you were looking just for stuff on the Feywild, correct? Okay.
Woods, anything that could lead her to knowledge on the Awen Woods.
You find a book that talks about ritual grounds of long forgotten enemies of the Feywild. This book at first doesn't want to caught your attention. It was only next to a book that was discussing just basic creatures that you have seen countless times, but symbol on the book matched a symbol that you had seen right before you came to the material plane. I'm pretty sure this would grab your attention, correct?
Yeah, she'd probably just sit down right in the middle of the aisle and start petting Sylphir and reading through, flipping through it.
As you grab the book and begin flipping through the pages, you spot a ritual location that you've seen before, the one that you had fought with your tribe before your pack, before you came to the material plane, or at least were sent. as you're kind of staring at it, you notice that it discusses a bit about the Aowen Woods and the connection between the two. Now, back to feed it there. As far as just kind of just goes, I can leave you with this book if you would like, and bring you a couple of others if you wish.
Yes, I'd like that. Will you be around in this area, or where will
I
you
work
be if
here.
I have any other questions? Or can you
Well,
come
I
and check
do.
in on us every once in a while?
I, I work here. Don't worry. If you ever need me, just ask one of the librarians over there. They'd be more than willing to assist in finding me or helping you if they can. Okay? Just ask for me and I shall come. No more than a few minutes. Right? As she says that, she just kind of goes, now, I'm going to go see if there's anyone else that needs my help. I will leave you with this. And I would get one of my assistants to track down a couple of other things for you so that you can bury your nose like I would into whatever I can find. Okay?
I'll make sure to come up and breathe every once in a while.
I know that feeling. And she just kind of begins walking away. As she gets close to the end of the room and everything, she actually kind of like looks over her shoulder and spots uh Saphira, just kind of like turns her head a little bit, sees you pet the dog. She's just kind of, it just keeps going.
Tail coiled up, his head's on her lap, just flipping page.
Emerald,
That's me.
as you are traveling towards the Merchant District to get to the Riverside Inn, you hear as you're coming down the street a rather large ruckus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As you're walking down the street, you hear rather large just glass shattering, and you kind of, as you look, you see off in the distance like two gentlemen just instantly jump out of a window. You hear someone from inside just kind of call out to them, just like, "Hey, stop them! They've got to my home!" And you just see this gentleman just running to the window. These guys are bolting.
How far is this from me?
I would say we have a map. And you are, but doink, 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 player characters. Emerald, you are right here.
Okay, and how many people came out of the window?
Two. These two guys are the ones that came out of the window. As you see them, you notice that they're both carrying swords, but they are currently just holding their daggers. One has got a tome in his hand. The other one is, from what you can tell, carrying a tablet, stone tablet, as well.
Hmm. Um. Well,
Just gotta let them go. You gotta jump in and try to stop them.
if it's just the two I can see.
You, yeah, you only see two that are actually jumping out of the window. You don't know if there's more.
Oh, well. I'm going to shout, halt, down the street
Okay.
and cast command at second level to see if I can get them to just stop running. and sit down. So the command will be sit.
And they need to roll a
Wisdom 15.
okay. Bandit. Here we go. Boink. Neither one make that. So like as soon as like they just kind of like jump out and begin to run, you just kind of just with a commanding, boisterous voice. Like they just kind of like stop, look in your direction, and then just kind of begin sitting. As they do, like two more guys just kind of like the standing kind of like on the kind of the edge of the walkway here, just kind of like instantly turn and look, and you see them like kind of like reaching for their weapons, and they're just kind of like, "Are you a guardsman?" Just kind of calling out to you, and they're just kind of backing
I
up
feel
and
like
being.
I should be switching this so everyone else can see what I'm getting into by myself.
Probably a good idea.
But you
Is
just
there?
like one of them's just like, "Are you a guardsman?"
Do I look like one?
No, you do not. But he doesn't. He's inquiring because you could be new. They have no idea.
I will start moving towards them, but what's going on here? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
As you kind of move closer, the one right here just kind of points at this direction and just says, turns to the other two, just like, "Will you get up and move? Don't just sit there like idiots." Calls the last one, just like, "Grab this, get out of here." You see this guy just kind of begin making his way. Another one, kind of off on the other side, also is moving up. You just see the other guys are just sitting. They're just like trying to like grab the guys. They're just kind of like swatting at him, just like, "No, leave us." And the guy that's kind of like confronting you is just like, "Last chance, are you a guard?"
Certainly not.
He's like, "Then I expect you to keep out of our way." And he just kind of begins backing up towards his guys. How long does command last?
It's a round.
Oh, 6 seconds.
Yep. It wasn't suggestion.
All right. So as like they're kind of like grabbing the guys, like instantly can like just kind of like snapping out of it, and they're just kind of yeah, and you just like you see them kind of like getting up. The person that's inside the shop is just like, "Guards!" He's just yelling out, "Guards, come quick!" Roll perception there, Emerald.
Perception. 19.
You hear coming from behind some footsteps. From what you can tell, it's probably no more than 3 people. As you kind of like turn and look, you do see individuals like armors kind of like clink, 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 like half plate heading towards these guys' direction. They're beginning to bolt, though. They are.
Yep. I was going to say, if they're starting to get their shit together, I'm going to, take another 2 steps forward. And
Okay.
I would like to invoke my channel divinity,
All right.
which is within 30 feet, so it would catch all of them.
Okay.
For orders demand.
What does
Exert
that
an
do?
intimidating presence over others. As an action, I present my holy symbol, and each creature of my choice that can see or hear within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw, or be charmed by me until the end of my next turn, or if they take any damage. And I'm just going to start, moving towards them and, listen, I think we can figure this out. You should probably,
What's your save?
That's a 15.
Only one didn't make it.
That's fine.
As like you begin walking up, the guardsmen are kind of like running up behind you. Continue what you're saying though.
It would seem they're stealing from this establishment. And is that initiative at this point?
It is.
Okay.
It is initiative.
And these are guards that are coming up behind. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, when you can't like actually see the ad turn because it's so far up on the screen.
I'll move this over here for everybody. I have an 18 on initiative.
All right. All right. Boink. Alrighty. Guardsman. Boink. 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 Alright, to keep this simple so we don't have to worry about too many time orders, I'm going to do one initiative turn for these guys. I got a 14. And for the guardsman, doink, doink, doink. They don't go much faster. They got a 15. So you're up front. All right, your turn to go there, Emerald.
Okay. In that case, I will start my turn by pointing at the two that are holding the stolen items.
Okay, that is going to be these two guys. I'm going to give them an identification marker. So I'm just going to put, it looks like a ninja symbol. That works.
Sure.
Boink.
And I'm going to cast Hold Person at 3rd level.
All right, so they need 2 wisdom saves, correct?
That will target both of them, yes.
One makes it, the other one does not. Which I'm going to say was this one that made it.
Sure.
So this guy has a net. Boink. All right, so you just kind of, you see one just kind of just shakes it off. The other one you just see kind of just stoves up instantly. Got to move in a
And
bonus
I will
action.
move 5, 10, 15, 20, and just try and get in there.
Okay. Guardsman, like as soon, is that it for your turn there, Otter?
I think so. I'm just checking if this is a bonus action. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just going to try and unsettle them by holding up the skull on my side and loading a tale from beyond into it so it swirls with arcane goodness.
They're using it as kind of like an intimidation factor.
They don't know what I'm doing. All they know is I pulled out a skull and it started going all weird.
I mean, if you want to roll an intimidation, go for it. Like along with it, see if it kind of like really unsettles them. I'm perfectly fine.
Remember, you told me I could do this.
I know.
That's a lot of. That's a 24 for intimidation.
Like as like you just kind of like bring out this skull, like the guy in front and the guy that's held person and the guy off to the right, just like their eyes kind of just go wide. There's like, what the? And like the guy in front is just like, "Who are you?"
Not a
And the
guard.
guy off, the guy off to the right is just like, what? He's just like kind of like looking like more towards the guards, is focused on them, not really you. The guy in the back here just can't see anything. Is that it for your turn there, Emerald?
That'll do it.
All right. All right. So this guy's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to use both his turn for his movement. they're all just gonna use their movement to get up here, and they're just gonna pull out their swords, and they're just kind of call out and be like, "Halt! Put down your weapons now before there's a bloodbath. We don't want it." This guy that you intimidated there, Otter, is automatically like as soon as like you pull out the skull, they're calling out to him. He just goes just drop his stuff. Same with the guy right back there. These guys are just like, the hell's going on? And just instantly kind of like pull out their swords. And he's going to actually take a swing at the guards in front of him. That's not going to hit. This guy is going to move up. And upon like seeing the skull and that like his other buddies have like dropped their weapons, he's actually going to drop his as well. So your turn. You just got one last guy there if you want to try and intimidate him.
Which one is left?
The one off
It's
to your right.
this one?
Yep.
I'm not even going to go for intimidation here. I'm going to just, like, persuasion, like, I don't know what's going on here, but I feel like an altercation's only going to make it worse. Your friends have already surrendered. It might be a good idea to do the same.
Roll
And
persuasion.
I will roll for my persuasion. 14 plus 9, 23.
As like you just kind of like tell him to just lay down his weapon, he just kind of reluctantly drops his sword. As it drops, the guard just instantly like grabs him by the collar and just throws him to the ground. The other one just instantly comes up, and you see them starting to like kind of like tie these guys up and everything. The shopkeep inside automatically just like comes out. You're just like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." He just kind of like begins grabbing his stuff, and he just kind of goes to each of the guards, telling them thank you. As he comes up to you, he's just like, "Thank you. Don't know who you are, but I am so thankful." Just kind of like gives you a hug, essentially.
Was not expecting a hug. I kind of give him like a shoulder pat. Or like, I don't know how tall this fella is, so like,
He
back
is
pat.
he is actually about your height.
Okay, yeah, a little bit of a shoulder pat.
In all honesty, you don't understand. It's not often that some random stranger is willing to stop and just hold up individuals like that. I appreciate it. Come here, come with me, come with me. He just kind of begins like gesturing but pulling you into his shop.
When the guards get to the hold person fella, I will let go of the spell so they can actually take care of putting him in custody, because otherwise he's kind of not moving.
All right. And with that, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Okay?
Okay. We'll see you
come back.
guys soon.
Small Varinheim for y'all. shopkeep that has like pulled you into the shop there, Emerald. He's like 4.5 feet tall. He's got brown hair that just comes past his ears. He's wearing robes that are like multiple different colors. You see him like as he's pulling in, like moving scrolls and everything, vials, random weapons. And he's just like, no, go. And he's just like pushing stuff, even though it's like as you see, like gets pushed, you see some of it like move like away a little bit on its own. And he's like I said, I want to thank you. I really do. And he's just kind of like having hold of the tomes, everything that was being taken. He's just like, he just puts them on a counter. And he's
What did
like,
they try and take?
these, he pulls and he's just like, you just see these tomes, like written languages and everything. He's just like, they're old artifacts meant to open ancient temples. Not even in this kingdom, but they're valuable. They're priceless artifacts.
Wait. Hold on. Do you know anything about these hidden temples from these artifacts?
Some, not all.
Is one by chance in the vicinity of Aston?
Not that I'm aware of. But if there is possibly a temple there, I can easily figure it out. I have figured out others before. You're talking to the man that has traveled to the Isles of Amdaria. I am able to find anything.
Do I know where that is?
Yes, you.
Okay. I'm
He's just
just
like, I have
trying to
found temples.
figure out if I feel impressed by that travel, or I'm just like, that's a place.
He just mentions like temples. Like, I have found temples inside of the Isles of Amdaria. Ones that no one's ever set foot in hundreds of years. I can find anything. Just if I can't find it, then Orihome does not deserve any sort of the artifacts here in this place. Which, by the way, I do want to say, greatly appreciate it. Is there anything that I can give you an appreciation, a token, a thanks? I mean, the guards, that's their job. I thank them every day. But you yourself, you're not a guard. What can I do? Something.
You thank them every day? Is this a common occurrence here in your establishment?
Oh, no, just they keep the peace. And
Okay. I was
this has
about
not
to
happened in
recommend upgrading your security, but that
God,
doesn't
this
seem to
hasn't
be the
happened
case.
in 10 years. No, they got lucky there. They got lucky. Which, by the way, you just give me a second. He kind of walks over to the window and begins casting mending all over the window to kind of fix it. He's like, all right, that's being said. Uh, appreciation. That's right. 1 second. And he just kind of goes over and grabs a coin. Just kind of looks, it's like, this would be plenty. He just kind of tosses you a coin. He's just like, you'll like that.
I will look at it. Is it just a regular coin?
It is just a copper coin.
Does it do something?
You're not familiar with arcane arts, are you?
More. I am familiar
Alex,
in some of the magics, but not super versed in the arcane.
yeah, I'll explain. And he kind of grabs it and just puts it on the table and just kind of holds his hand over it. And he's like, once I do this, I'll have to get you a new one. As he kind of moves his hand, he reveals a, a Jedidite. Yeah. And he's just like, here you go. And as he hands it to you, you kind of look at it. It's a Jedidite. Jedite. English is hard. Either way, it's an ore.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the most expensive. Goes for 500 of the amount that I just transmuted it into. Gold. It's worth that much. Now I've got two more of those, and he kind of walks over and kind of grabs it. He's like, use the incantation, transmutes into it, and you're able to sell it. Stays like that. Not screwing anyone over, and it's kind of worth it. Just don't sell it to me.
I mean, you already have these. It probably wouldn't do me any
Yes,
good to sell it to you anyway.
true. But it is worth 500 gold, and no one will know. Looks like a copper piece. You get where I'm getting at with this, right?
I think so.
Great. Now, that's being said, is there anything I can help you with?
Um,
Mine is finding the temple. What temple are you even referring to?
I'm not sure if it's a temple so much as ruins, but the people I'm traveling with are trying to find information on old, old ruins somewhere in the vicinity of Aston.
Possibly time for tomes may have something. I maybe a library most likely as well. But if it's an ancient temple located in Easton,
Yeah,
you're
they're
looking
at the library now. I was on my way to find lodging for us for the evening and kind of wound up here on the way.
well, where exactly where you're wanting to go stay at.
Well, I was hoping for a good bath. It's been a lot of travel and a lot of interesting endeavors the last couple days. I was recommended the Riverside Inn. I was told they have the
Oh,
best baths in town.
everyone goes to the Riverside Inn. I'm more the Copper Barrel myself, but that's just me. Uh, I can fit better in those. Not saying that having a big bath is bad. I mean, the Riverside is great in that regard, but I like to be more comfortable, you know. But that being said, preference. Preference is key. Riverside is great. I'm not saying it's not, but so is Copper Barrel. Just saying. Just kind of, it's like I recommend it. You never know. But
What's
Riverside,
aside from the size of the baths, what's the difference between the two? This is the
oh,
first time
well,
I've been to this city,
the
so
chicken is amazing at the Copper Barrel.
okay.
Chicken, the steaks that they offer, it's fantastic. Now, I'm not going to say, I mean, I am going to say Riverside's ham is delicious and it has some of the best bread. Food, you can never go wrong. You do have to pick your places, but I'm more of a chicken guy myself. Just saying. And also,
Preferably of the two, which one would be more aligned with some very needed rest and relaxation?
if you're wanting rest and relaxation, Riverside. If you're wanting good conversation and a little bit of no, Copper Barrel.
Okay.
Now,
I,
Riverside, you're there. And he points right outside, and it's like you kind of like look. You couldn't see the sign at first, but it's like you've gone to the other side. Riverside's right outside. It's the building that's right across from you.
oh, lovely.
I find that the name is a little misleading. It's not next to a river.
No, we're a good way from. I haven't seen a river anywhere near here. I think
It's
there's
only
one
about half.
past the town, but not in it.
There's one on the south end of the town
Ah,
or the city. Which what brings you actually in the city of Isatol?
the
I have to
library.
ask. Just the library?
My traveling companions have some research they wanted to get into, and we heard the library here was rather expansive.
Hmm. Well, that
And quite honestly, this is a much more welcome town to be in, coming from Aston. It's not as volatile.
Devastated? I've been to Easton. Was there about a month ago, actually. Quite a bit of raids, we'll say.
Yeah, didn't
Uh,
know about the raids till we were already there, and that was a thing.
yeah, might I suggest knowing a little bit about where you're going? Just saying.
Um,
I can help with that.
I really don't know a whole lot about this country, so I'm kind of learning as I go, if you will.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, that being said, if you need anything, like I was saying, I can help. Uh, Especially when it comes to this kingdom, especially when dealing with the Duke here. He's a good gentleman. Don't get us wrong. He's leaps and bounds have allowed the city of Isatol to grow, but he definitely, how should I say, there's something off. We're not quite sure.
Off in what way?
You'll notice the amount of guards, correct?
Mm-hmm. Almost on par with Donval.
On par.
The Donval
That
was
you're
very
talking.
guarded. Well, when we went through there,
I can guarantee you, as you go through the city, you'll see that for every guard there is in Donvault, there's probably 5 to 10 here in Isatol. And it's not because
this
of the
is a
size
far
of the city.
bigger city. So
It's not because of the city. That being said, you need to speak with. If you want to understand what I'm getting at, request an audience with Duke Renato, and you'll know.
is it true that to speak with them I have to go through a Norman Bryson?
You may need that coin then, after all. You do.
Is that the only way to speak with them? Is to offer up coin for an audience?
What can I say? He's expensive.
Yeah. Politics are politics.
Politics are. That being said, I do have to get back to my shop, and I really do appreciate all that's your help. I
Yeah.
recommend Riverside.
What do you sell here?
Why the best
I
magic items in all of Isatol? He just kind of grabs like items. He's just like, I've got wands, I've got mauls, mauls that will dance, some will talk. I've got shields, I've got swords, I've got bows, I've got tomes, I've got scrolls. I've got anything you want.
well, I don't think I'm searching for anything in particular at the moment, but it is good to know. I'm sure after meeting back up with my allies, they would love to come and see your wares.
I would love to talk with them and meet them, and wouldn't mind showing them a couple of things. So, that being said,
And this is just pure curiosity at this point. Aside from the weapons and the armor, do you have anything just fun?
that I do. Would you like something?
Surprise me, I'm curious what you have.
Just kind of goes off and grabs a leather chess piece and then just says, "You may take this."
I can take it.
You can take it. Take his appreciation.
Sure, I grab the leather chest piece. Does anything happen?
No. He says, whoever you want to have an interesting time, just give that to them.
Now, for clarification, is this a detrimental interesting time, or...
Oh, no, by no means. I will never give anything that is of detriment. It will just be humorous.
Humorous?
He just gives a grin.
Okay. I will see what I can do to have some fun with this. I'm gonna send you something real quick, Trail.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. What about that?
Boop, 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 boop. And this might seem like a strange ask.
The Bramble staff. They'll have that.
Okay. Good. I'm gonna go look at these two inns. Where's the copper pot from here? Copper barrel?
Copper barrel?
Sorry.
The copper barrel is just on the other side of the Merchant Lane district, more towards the southeast end.
Cool. I am sure I will be back. Where would I find Norman if I were to need an audience?
Baron's Manor to, if I am not mistaken, southeast. Just go to his district office in that area and suggest that you have quite a bit of coin and you're needing some assistance. He'd be more than welcome to help you.
And for clarification, how much does his audience cost?
What are you willing to give is always what he'll ask.
Okay. I hate politics.
I think that was
Fair
both liberal
enough.
and honor.
No, yeah, no, that's fair.
Sorry, honor.
No worries. I completely lost my train of thought now. I don't know where I was going.
But Dockside
I'm
Inn
sure
is
I'll
right
see you
outside.
soon. I'm glad you got your items back, and I look forward to hopeful business in the future.
Look forward to yours as well. And he just goes back to what he was doing at the shop. Cleaning stuff up. That nature.
And
I would say, by the way, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying, and I'm gonna go check out the two inns and see which one would be a better like R&R day for the party.
Dockside. Hands down. Just let you know.
The Riverside,
Riverside. Yeah, why did I say Dockside? Riverside.
down by the
Hands down.
bay.
Right?
I can't buy any of those three things.
But yeah. As that's going on, Saphira, Ada, you guys, y'all's after about 2 hours, y'all all like Saphira, you've got probably a small stack of books towards the Feywild, correct? As you're slowly working stuff. Fida, you and Tanith, they'll probably have like 60 books just stacked like waist high at this point. Y'all like pulling a book, like flipping through the index and everything, like checking for stuff, and then grabbing the next one, just kind of flipping over and looking as well. Y'all are finding stuff on the Shadowfell, creatures, demonic rulers that used to rule over specific territory that would dictate passage through these gateways at one point before apparently the pillars took control, or at least control the ones in the Shadowfell to a certain extent.
Pillars took control in Shadowfell?
Yeah, like the pillars took control of specific temples that were connected to these gateways. You're just finding all this information out. The pillars apparently been around for thousands of years, from what the books are saying, of lore wise, of legend. You find a little bit more on the Hunters of Eternity, and someone had to go to the Feywild section to grab that. It talks about their demise and their destruction by Morgana. The books that you are finding there, Saphira, talk about of ancient enemy for the Feywild that essentially was wanting to take control of something that many call the heart of the Feywild. You- You're not finding much information on what you currently are looking through here, but after a while of looking through some of this stuff, Miss Farah just kind of comes up to you and she's like, if y'all are wanting, y'all can take these books with y'all, or at least any ones that have a copy.
I'm sure some of them will come with us. Do you know of any of these things somehow in some way being linked to anywhere around here?
Well, considering that the Shadowfell is essentially a mirror to the material plane, I wouldn't be surprised if the temple is somewhere on the material plane, just maybe lost. You've not been to the Shadowfell, have you?
Hmm?
You haven't been to the Shadowfell, have you?
No, I haven't.
So when it comes to the Shadowfell and the Feywild, it's just a mirror of the material plane.
So is
Landscapes,
there a map of the Shadowfell that would have a place where all of these things are?
maybe. We don't have any ourselves. But we are also not our collection is extensive, don't get me wrong, but nothing is compared to Isatol's governments, what they hold. The information, the maps, the collections that they possess
So how
in
does
this
one get
specific.
into actually speaking to them?
You had to talk with Duke Isaac.
Duke. How does one get a hold of him to actually speak to?
Norman Bryson is the one that you'll have to speak with. He'll set you up an audience.
Norman Bryson.
He's his right hand.
Hmm.
When it comes to Duke Isaac, he is willing to do anything to boost Isatol's influence in the surrounding area. So, if you're going to be wanting to try and look through their collections, you get to offer something in return. Most likely. Either a favor or information. What can I tell you? Politics is annoying sometimes.
Politics. Hmm. Can you think of you're familiar with these with I would assume that you as you've been able to find these books so quickly that you have a fair amount of familiarity with this topic.
Yes, quite a bit. What
Are
exactly have
there
you?
Are there any other directions that we haven't looked at here that could be of interest?
The locating temples in the area, or what exactly?
I think there's a temple nearby, and I want to find it.
Where is nearby?
Within the southern part of the country of oh my god, I can't remember the name of the area.
Aston.
Not Aston. No,
Oh,
no, no,
really?
no, no. The continent. The kingdom
The
here.
Varinheim?
name of the campaign?
Ashland.
Ashland, there we go. Yes. Somewhere within the southern part of Ashland. Like within this peninsula where we're at.
I mean, we know of a temple in the southern area near the Eastbourne town of Eastbourne, but that's about it.
Temple in Eastbourne.
Yeah, it's just off in a cliffside. It's been explored multiple times, but
Is
nothing
there
of
any
note.
writings on it?
Uh, yes, but nothing in our records indicate. I mean, it's been people have gone there multiple times. It looks like a form of abyssal.
Are there any samples of that text or anything that we could take a look at?
Yes, and she just kind of wanders off real quick. She's gone for like just less than a minute and comes back and brings back a sample. And as y'all look at it, it looks like as you look at their feet of a tenth, it looks like a form of abyssal, but
I'm gonna spend 10 minutes in ritual cast comprehend languages and then read it.
okay. As you cast comprehend languages and read it, it just talks about essentially a place of summoning a dark demonic being.
I don't think this is the temple we're looking for, or anything in here is going to be useful.
I'm sorry, that's all of it. Like, but
That's
that's
alright. It's yeah, you might want to be careful who gets a hold of it.
can do. I was gonna say, I mean, we knew what like we kind of knew what it said because we'd done the exact same thing, but still. But if y'all wanted to take some of the stuff with y'all can. We have no
Hmm.
issues.
I assume you probably want to catalog what it is we are taking with us, but yes, we'll take all of these ones here and just kind of point to a stack of the more relevant books that we have found. And it's, I'm assuming, been a few hours, so I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
we haven't eaten in a while. I'm kind of getting hungry. And I'm gonna go and wander around and go and find Saphira.
You find her like 2 seconds. She's in the same area.
I'm assuming the little pile of books around her in like a little like
Yep.
semicircle.
It's
You've built
adorable.
yourself quite a nest over here.
Ear perks over. There's a lot of information here.
Mm-hmm. That is the understatement of the century. Found some things um that I think may be linked to what it is we're looking for. But I also found some things on a group called the oh, what was it? Yeah. Hunters of Eternity?
Do I
In the
know that
Feywild.
name?
Roll a history check there, Saphira.
Okay. I have no idea what my history bonus is. Let's find out. 2,
Should
so
be
14.
you actually kind of recall a little bit of the Hunters of Eternity. Your pack uh your pack leader used to actually Alanis used to talk about him quite a bit in myth and legend story wise. but he
So
also
you
talked about their
mentioned
destruction.
of that name, she stops and looks over at Fida. The what?
Hunters of Eternity. It sounds like they protected a gate of similar to the one that we're looking for in the Feywild. Similar to another order I found, the Order of Bastille, which has something called the Pillars involved, and they're in the Shadowfell. And there's a similarity there. The look on your
Let me see.
face indicates to me that you've heard that term before.
Let me see.
There's a stack of books over on the table where Tanathil and I are. If you'd like to come and see. I've been taking notes here, and you can take a look at those too.
She just starts like closing up
Which
book and
which books are most important
grabbing
here? They're
certain
letting us
ones.
take some with us as well.
Oh. Hmm. This one, and just goes through grabbing several different ones from several different stacks. It looks like disorganized. It looks like organized chaos. Chaos to anyone but her. She knows what's where.
I'm not going to question your methods. Is there anything I can help carry?
Sure, these.
Okay. I'm gonna hold up my arms and just take books. And start walking over to the table.
As y'all go there, they easily catalog y'all stuff really quick and just says, if y'all don't mind, just bring this back in a few days.
Before when?
A few days.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We hope you all had a good time here. We hope to see y'all again soon. Just letting you know, the books have an enchantment. If they're not back, we'll get them back.
That's fair.
Money just starts
Like,
disappearing out of your
they'll-
pocket until you bring the book back.
No, the book just
As we take
Like-
our late fee, if you will.
Will the book find its way back here on its own?
it just it teleports and comes back.
Can I ask you one more favor?
Yes.
Another side project I have is I'm trying to learn a little bit more about the what is it, the plains of the hells and some of the creatures therein. Do you have like
The
a
Nine Hells?
single book that I can take a look at to understand some of the creatures in there?
Yes, the lady that's kind of like assisting, like cataloging y'all stuff, kind of goes off real quick, comes back with like a single book, probably a few hundred
It's
pages.
a tome. It's a tome. Yep.
Few hundred
Lesser
pages.
book.
Just like, here you go.
Fantastic.
I'll add
Thank
that to
you.
y'all's catalog.
Side project. Okay. Um, I'm not even sure where to start with all of this. We've got so much information here, so many different directions, and I have not been able to figure out anything on where this place could be. I'm gonna be talking to Tanathil and Saphira, predominantly Saphira, because Tanathil, I'm sure, is eyebrows deep in a book.
Handles in a book as well. He's reading and walking.
Pacing back and forth,
Oh.
wearing a hole in the floor.
Before I leave the shop that I'm in, I do have one more question for the shopkeep.
Yes.
Does this mean anything to you? And I will hand them the coin with a lamp on one side and a well on the other.
When did I give that out? Oh, shit.
Season 1, closer to the end.
It was a coin we received. We learned that it was won in a poker game, and it is from a set of 3. It is one of 3 of these coins.
He just kind of looks at it. Where did you get this?
Came across it
Like,
in my travels.
where did he get it? The person that had it.
They weren't in a position to tell me?
I'm not sure, 100%. This is one of 3.
That I know. But I don't know anything past that. I know they won it in a poker game.
Yeah, and I bet you that the person that actually originally got it pulled it out of a well. And when they pulled it out of a well, it looked like just a regular coin to them.
Is it not a regular coin?
No. To him, it would look just like a regular coin, just a regular gold piece. He wouldn't see the lamp on one side.
So he doesn't see the lamp.
I see the lamp.
Okay, so the person
He
who
would.
had it did not. Okay, sorry.
Person that was greedy that pulled one of 3 coins out of a well will not see this the same as you. He tosses it back to you. And he's like, I can give you the information on what I think it does.
Well, it's better than no information.
If you can take it back to the location that it came from and toss it in the well, I bet you it would summon a djinn.
Do I know what a djinn is?
Yes. And what that djinn will do, I have no clue. Why am I rhyming so much tonight?
Because it fits for a djinn.
Wherever he got that, I bet you it was in the Isatol dynasty, though.
Well, can't say I've been there yet. Good to know. Would there be any way to know what kind of well I'm looking for?
Now that I can't tell.
Hmm.
But the lamp tells it all.
Very interesting. Just between us, what does this armor do for the person I'm going to give an entertaining day to?
I hope they like to dance.
Oh, lovely. Beautiful. Well, thank you again for your insight. I'm sure I will see you soon.
What the actual armor does is increases their AC 13 plus their dex.
Okay.
But while they wear it and they're in a fight, they dance constantly. And their erratic movements is what keeps the AC up.
So, plus 13 dex, but forced to dance during combat.
Yes.
Ah, what a
So we have a
wonderful
blade
world we
singer
live in.
and we're going to have a battle dancer?
I ain't wearing this. It's not.
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
This isn't better than what I'm wearing. Sorry. It's not going
It's not
on
meant
me.
to be good. It's just meant to be funny.
And now we put this in the inventory until Trail forgets it's there.
I forgot about the coin.
Good,
I take
good,
it you
good.
go to Riverside?
I'm going to head over to Riverside and inquire about some rooms and a good evening of R&R.
As you get there, the innkeeper is quick to give you a couple of rooms. 5 gold per night gives you both a breakfast and a dinner, and as much drink as you would like. Water, not ale. Just want to clarify that. Baths are 5 silver. You get 1 free,
Okay.
1 per day, but extra ones is 5 silver.
So for the whole spa experience for the party, it'd be 5 gold per room.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, we'll grab 4 rooms.
Innkeeper is quick to just kind of grab your gold. Just like, I'll have those ready in just a moment. If you're wanting to just go ahead and get cleaned up and relaxed, we'll get you that spot ready. Okay.
I think I'm going to sit down for some food and wait for the rest of my friends to get here, and then I'm sure we'll take advantage of the amenities offered.
All right. I would say you don't wait that long there, Emerald, before Fida, Tanathil, and Saphira come in carrying like 30 books.
Well, you've been busy.
That's one word for it, yes. We've got a few different directions to go with this, so we need to we borrow these so we can look through a little bit more.
Ah. I've had a busy afternoon myself.
Oh, what sort of adventures did you get yourself into? Actually, before you answer that, can we get some food over here?
Then the innkeeper's like, I'm already on it. He was already asked
Fantastic.
for.
Thank you.
I was a step ahead of you. Food should be here momentarily.
They
And
bring like.
and each of you have your own room for the evening.
Oh, thank you.
The person brings like a plate of like ham, bread, a tray of vegetables, and just other assortments. It's just like a feast for y'all.
Much appreciated.
And after you're done eating, I hear this place has the best baths in town, and I've made sure to make sure there's room for each of us. We've had a rough couple days, a good cleanup and some relaxation could do us well.
Remembering back to the sewer and just thinking, yeah, a good scrub would be nice.
But
All right.
I stopped some crime. I met a very interesting shopkeep. Seems to be pretty knowledgeable on ruins. They're going to see if they can find any information on any ruins towards the area of Easton. They're very curious at the prospect of them not knowing one was there. I think you would really like checking out that shop, Fida.
Sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah, and it's right there. Points out the
He just
window.
points for
Well, that's convenient.
It's not one of the two magic shops we were pointed towards from the guard, but they do seem to have quite a bit of magical stuff there.
Excellent. I'll have to go and check that out after. We were pointed towards Duke Isaac, I think his name was, and Norman Bryson.
As was
Again,
I.
sounds like if we're going to find any sort of maps or anything, I'm going to need to speak with him.
From what I've gathered, it's more of a money exchange than information to gain audience with Norman to even talk with Isaac the Duke.
He's a collector of shinies, is he?
By the sound of it, a collection of money. What the shopkeep
Yeah,
said across the street was it's more of a question of what are you willing to offer for an audience.
Mhm. I guess we'll have to figure out what it is we can offer. What is deemed reasonable to get an audience with him.
We certainly come with valuable information.
It's something I feel we should look into a little bit later. Right now, it's
For now, food.
yes, let's food and relax a little bit. I'll catch Emerald up on what it is that we found so far with the research and some of the things. So we're all on the same page with what it is that has been found so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. And I take it that y'all eat and then go and, after talking, go relax inside.
Soak.
Just soak. Do y'all go to bed right afterwards, or do y'all meet
Well,
back
what time
up?
is it?
I would say that by the time y'all get done like soaking, it's like probably 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. Cause y'all
Oh,
like got back at like to the Riverside Inn. I would say probably around 12, 1 o'clock for lunch, almost 2. And then y'all would have talked for a while because y'all were in the library for hours, I would say. So, you know, library for hours, come, eat lunch, talk for a bit, go and soak for a few hours. By the time you're looking at 6, 7 o'clock. So,
well, I'm thinking to continue the research that I've been going through and maybe start exploring a little bit more of if any of the books that I have on the table or in my possession involve the group of eternity, the Hunters of Eternity. Look into that a little bit more because Saphira seemed to have some interest in that one. So
okay.
see if there's any direct correlation that could link with because there's not too much more direction I can go with the
Roll
Shadow Fell
investigation.
side. Sure. Let's see where this is. Investigation. That was a sucky one. I don't find much.
You don't find much on the Hunters of Eternity, but as you're kind of plowing through other books that regard to temples and everything, you come across a section of a temple, supposedly underneath the Erebus Plateau. And as you look closer at the map that is connected to this page, that plateau is just northeast of Landcrest. And it talks about an order that was able to control a gateway. And that's where I'm going to leave off for tonight.
Ooh.
Otter, may you close this out?
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us this evening, everybody. make sure to stay tuned for the rest of the games we have coming up during the week. We have the Troubleshooters tomorrow, ran by Cap. We have a Remnant Shadow, ran by Jason on Tuesdays. We'll be seeing the return of Falskallen Knights next month on Wednesday. Thursday, we have A Knight's Ransom, ran by Maddie. Saturday, we have The Stolen Cities, ran by Alex. They're getting close to the end of their campaign. Things are getting intense. And we will not have session next week as it is Easter, so we will see you all in 2 weeks for some more Varinheim.
Forward to seeing y'all.
Have you ever fought a dragon, stormed his mountain lair? Have you ever killed a vampire and seen the evil in its lair? Have you ever sought adventure and couldn't find it anywhere? Well, here's the answer to your call. We're gonna die a bear. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your cares. Adventuring company. Come with me and see what's out there. If you wanna be a hero or a demon in disguise, if you wanna steal a spaceship and sail across the endless skies, if you wanna live a story and you're down to have some fun, come on and join the Dire Bears. There's a game for everyone. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your tears. Adventuring company. Come with me and see what's out there.